Hey world, what up? We're gonna kick it here on ESPN, the countdown right before the Celtics and Miami Heat game for Game 6. But for the topic of discussion for today is going over the Los Angeles Lakers are making it to their 2020 NBA Finals. They're representing the Western Conference after defeating the Denver Nuggets. With the crew today, Paul Pierce he's going to go in a little more about what a championship for the Lakers would do for LeBron's legacy, all-time rankings, and Jay and Jalen Rose. They're going to go kick it off the same thing with LeBron James' accomplishments of making and reaching his 10th NBA Finals and where that would put him as well. I've always stated on pretty much all the videos I've created since I've created this channel, LeBron James all time is top 5. He's number 5 for me, and he always has been. I've always stated the Los Angeles Lakers were going to win the 2020 NBA championship pretty much for around a year and a half ago, but I created this channel a couple months ago, so we're here where we're at as of right now. So LeBron James, he's number 5 all time for me. Whenever he does win the NBA championship in 2020, he will be number 4 all time for me. As of right now, he probably could be number 3 and number 2. I'm going to take it step by step, but he will enter the Mount Rushmore of the NBA. Kind of top 5 for me real quick if you guys didn't know. Number 1, I have Michael Jordan. Number 2, I do have Bill Russell. 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 4, Magic Johnson. And number 5, LeBron James. Again, whenever LeBron wins the 2020 chip, which will happen, he will leapfrog over Magic Johnson, and he will be in that class of the Mount Rushmore, the NBA. But let's jump into here, and I'll give my take.
You hear the voice of MC Light, you know what time it is. Welcome to NBA Countdown live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. We have all cleared our throats because we are prepared for Game 6, Celtics Heat. Uncle P, you look fresh in your forces. These must be an elimination game outfit for you.
Yeah. Wow. Celtics might
They might need them, so he had to put his sneakers on.
Y'all gonna be all right today, Pierce.
Right.
Want to rumble with the B, huh?
Queen B.
Want to rumble with the B, huh?
Queen B is here. Maria Taylor. We got Jalen Rose
I'm
looking
little brother,
extra
I'm little
crispy.
brother,
We got
I'm little
everyone's
brother.
little brother.
Yeah.
I love it how they do it on TV to where everyone's tested to where they don't have any corona, but they'll still put them 6 feet, social distancing on TV. Same thing with the NBA games. I mean, it's just social engineering with everything going on, but it's laughable.
He might show up and teach us something today.
You
Sometimes
might wear
he's the
socks
professor.
next time.
Nope. European ankles today. You see it.
The good news is we were all sitting at home and enjoying a game in the Western Conference Finals, and we were able to see the Lakers advance to the finals for the first time since 2010. I can still hear LA cheering from here in New York City. They got the win 117-107 over the Nuggets, and really LeBron James just put in a casual 38 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. And never forget, he is 35 years old.
The last 5 possessions, pretty much in the fourth quarter, before the Lakers pretty much sealed the deal. We've kind of seen this from LeBron, usually in the 2018 playoffs, to where he just went ham offensively and clutched out pretty much every game. But for LeBron James here in this game, the last 5 possessions I was kind of mentioning, he scored pretty much 4 mid-range jumpers. He kicked it off on assist, and then he hit a three-pointer shot to seal the deal. And he made all of them all together. And LeBron was in his bag. Mentally, he had that Mamba mentality. He wanted to get this game over with, and he pretty much had to close it out as the team was expecting him to do. I know every NBA fan, Skip Bayless, they would love to see LeBron do that more often, consistently. But we'll see that kind of with LeBron James every couple games or so, or kind of once in a blue moon throughout the season, especially more in the playoffs. But I was very glad to see him kick it off and end it off the game with 38 points. A lot of cats out there kind of on social media, two-dimensional thinkers, are just throwing out Anthony Davis is carrying LeBron to a finals, etc., etc. Listen, LeBron James is the greatest player in the NBA. I've always stated that. We got to see what happens with the finals MVP, but that's a little later to be discussed upon it. But LeBron James had a triple-double. He had 38 points. He was number 2 in MVP voting for 2020, and LeBron's always kicked it off, but he understands mismatches and how to feed Anthony Davis, who's an offensive killer out there. So LeBron knows what he's doing as he's playing point guard. LeBron will take it off in the fourth quarter or whenever to need so. He'll kick it off, energy drive. So kudos to LeBron closing out the deal, and the 1A, 1B two-man punch of AD and LeBron James kind of shows again and always resembles and lets everyone know they are the best dynamic duo in the NBA. They've always have been, but I guess it's taken a lot of people to finally see this. Maybe if they still can or not. Who knows?
Playing in his 17th season and put this game on his back in the fourth quarter. The most amazing part of LeBron's performance, though, is probably the fact that we've actually seen it before. Saturday marked the fourth time in his career he has led both teams outright in points.
Wow. I didn't really catch that with Jason Tatum. That's crazy. I didn't see that before. So this is Jason Tatum's third season in the NBA. And kudos to him. Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward were out in 2018, which was their first season. Same thing with Jason Tatum. And Jason Tatum went ham those playoffs. He was the number one option, leading them to a Game 7 conference finals appearance against the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, which LeBron made his 9th NBA Finals after that game. But Jason Tatum, he's had a great 3-year stretch starting the NBA since Kyrie Irving's gone. Jason Tatum's back in the NBA Conference Finals, and he possibly could be in the 2020 NBA Finals, but wow, that's a great stat line for him. Kudos.
Rebounds and assists in a series-clinching win. All other players in NBA postseason history have combined to do this just twice. So the question is, how should we define or how should we view his 10th appearance in the finals, Jalen?
Well, let me start off here. 10 NBA Finals for LeBron James, that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, if you would have told someone that LeBron James, since he was 18 getting into the league from high school, he would have at least 10 NBA Finals appearances, and he would be the main player leading each of those teams, it would have blown your brains out. Everyone would have proclaimed him as the GOAT. But the unfortunate thing is, out of 9 NBA Finals, he's only won 3. And within those 3, LeBron James did elect to go to Miami to, quote-unquote, form a super team. Now, the Miami Heat were a definite super team, head over heels over the NBA in 2011 when Dwayne Wade was in his peak. But in 2012, the Heat were pretty much leveled with the top teams in the NBA, such as the Chicago Bulls. The Boston Celtics were not really – the Boston Celtics were more of a 4-5 seed, but they could still kind of hang around with them. The Oklahoma City Thunder and possibly the San Antonio Spurs, but they got bounced in the first round. So when LeBron elected to go to Miami, whenever he was in his second season with them, the Miami Heat were not a quote-unquote super team. They had a big 3, and they're the favorites to win the championship, but it's nothing like the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, not at all. The Miami Heat were a little bit better than some of these other teams out there, but they could be beaten. We knew that. So LeBron James, he only has 3 championships. Some people kind of discredited Miami. I never did. He was the main player. Dwayne Wade, his knees and his age, hit him hard in 2012 and 2013, especially 2014. But Dwayne Wade in 2011, his first season with LeBron, he was up there like an Anthony Davis. He was a top 5, top 8 player in the NBA, but he drastically dropped in 2012. So LeBron James has player mobility. Every 4 years, he'll kind of leave a team. And out of 9 finals, you only win 3. I mean, that's you got to win more than that. LeBron should have around 4 or 5 titles right now. He didn't expect the Golden State Warriors to pop off. So when LeBron joined the Cleveland Cavaliers, his second stint, he pretty much thought with his core 3 of Kevin Love and Kyrie and himself, they would take up the NBA for those next 2 to 3 years since the Spurs were getting old. But the Warriors came out of nowhere, and they pretty much kind of ruined his plans. But LeBron James, he's 35 years of age. He has 3 championships. That's why I have him number 5 all time. It's looking like, and it will be, he's gonna win his 4th championship out of 10 tries, and that's really going to elevate him to another level. For me, for right now, I'm going to say number 4 all time. Some people are going to say GOAT. Some people are going to say second greatest. That's going to be determined. But overall, 10 finals. He gets 4 championships. I mean, it is what it is. That's still very impressive because you're going to have the Lakers, the Heat, and the Cavaliers. Never seen before.
LeBron has been Santa Claus because he's delivered like on Christmas morning. Since we have somebody that's one of his rivals up on the set, cover your eyes on Christmas morning, Paul Pierce. 10 finals appearances, 6 unassisted baskets in the fourth quarter, 5 different coaches, 4 regular season MVPs, 3 finals MVPs, doing it in 2 facets of life, on and off the floor. 1 championship ring. The Lakers are getting it this year. Lake Show fans, get ready.
Hey, Jalen, it took you how long to finally say that? Hey, man, ever since LeBron James joined the Lakers in 2019, I said, listen, he's going to win the championship in 2020. I didn't care if it was objective or not. I've always stood by it, and everything's looking perfect as it is. 2019 was a rebuilding stage. Yeah, Luke Walton's the head coach. You got to let go of the young cats of Lonzo Ball. And we're seeing that with Kyrie Irving and KD right now, their first season. Even though he didn't play the first season, he was hurt and injured, but they joined a Nets team that was young and had a great coach. Kind of with LeBron with the Lakers. They're getting up there. They pretty much got to take over and have their own way. So, for example, the fire Kenny Atkinson with the Nets, you're probably going to see some of the young cats get traded so that you can have a team that fits KD and Kyrie. Same thing for LeBron. You had to bring Anthony Davis. You finally brought in some veterans that made sense. You brought in Frank Vogel, a veteran coach. But yeah, kudos to LeBron when it comes to it, man. You know, he's going to bring some chaos sometimes. We usually saw that with the second stint with the Cleveland Cavaliers, kind of his chaotic ways and narcissism. But now when he joined the Lakers and Anthony Davis arrived with Frank Vogel and veterans, I've not seen any NBA drama with that team whatsoever. And this has been pretty much a first with any LeBron James team. And the NBA media has never even mentioned Frank Vogel once in these talk shows. He said the Lakers are winning.
Ready to celebrate. This is just a formality. LeBron James is delivering this season, Jay Will.
I think if he wins a title, this will be his greatest / most controversial title he's ever won in his career, right? I say.
Greatest? No, sir. Nothing will cap over the 2016 NBA Finals 3-1 over the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. Now, this is going to be his second greatest title because Jay Williams is probably going to mention about this. And I've always say this with my videos I posted. The reason why the Lakers win the championship, a lot of different variable reasons, but you can add on. If you kind of observe things in the background, you can see everything added and pointed for them to win. For example, Kobe Bryant, he passed away. They had to do it for the Mamba. You have the Warriors and Nets who are injured this season. You had the Battle of L.A. with Kawhi and LeBron James. Are they really going to let Kawhi go to the finals and win it for 3 different teams, 3 different franchises, 3 different finals MVPs? No, sir. They want to leave that for LeBron. I can't think right now. You got a whole lot of other reasons I have the Lakers to win it easily from a year and a half away till right now. But those are just a few. And when it comes to LeBron, he may not reach 6 rings to be the GOAT for Michael Jordan. That's why LeBron James has been doing a lot of things off the court to quote-unquote be a Muhammad Ali type figure, which he's not even close to that, which is blasphemous and disrespectful to put him in the same sentence as Muhammad Ali. I'm not going to get into that topic of discussion today. May make another video for it. But on the court, LeBron James knows he may not reach 6 rings with Anthony Davis and the crew and over with his career. So if LeBron can rack up one more championship, and not based on quantity, but based on quality. So 4 different rings. 2 of them will be with a storyline with the Cavaliers, hometown team, 73-9 Warriors come back. And then this one will be for Kobe Bryant, the Los Angeles Lakers, who haven't won since Kobe Bryant, and et cetera, et cetera. So LeBron is going to have to pull in an emotional fan base, emotional decision for people. Michael Jordan did it basically on facts and masculinity. And that's what Michael Jordan was. So you can look at him, 6-0, et cetera, et cetera. But for LeBron, he's part of the divine feminine. He has a feminine nature to him. So LeBron James, he's going to pull him off an emotional feel. That's what's really going to grasp the media. That's what's really going to grasp the fan base to draw towards LeBron James's quote-unquote side to be the quote-unquote GOAT. I've always stated, if he wins this championship, which he will be in the Mount Rushmore of the NBA, but he's not going to leapfrog Kareem or Bill Russell for me. Not yet, at least.
The greatest because we all know that in order to win, it's just not what you do on the court, it's what you do off the court. Think about everything he's had to deal with this year. Kobe Bryant passing away, right? Stepping up, being that big.
Well, I'm not going to say this, but LeBron James was in the know when it came to Kobe Bryant sacrifice, being murdered in the helicopter. I believe he was. That's to be determined. You know, right before Kobe Bryant passed away in that helicopter crash with his daughter and the 8 others or whatever number it was, I forgot exactly what the stat was, but the night before, LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant all time, and I think it's amount of points or games played or something along those lines. He beat the 76ers, and he passed over Kobe Bryant. This is not a coincidence. These things are calculated as it comes in the background, but no.
Bigger.
Imagine the places we'll go. Together. Expedia.
Help bring sports back to schools. Grab a spoon. Support the mission.
For the Lakers, going through a pandemic, taking 3.5, 4 months off from basketball, dealing with social injustice.
Well, this actually helps LeBron James with 4 to 5 months of rest. If you're a young cat, you don't want that much time off because you need to catch a rhythm in a groove, a la Giannis Antetokounmpo, why he kind of fell off. That could be determined because of the Bucks were rusty. They didn't have time together. Who knows what it is? But for LeBron and any other stars, you're older. You appreciate, having rest. You need to rest your body, and mentally you're there, but physically this helped out LeBron James a lot. Yeah.
Happening during that time, being a civil rights leader, essentially, while still being one of the best players in the game.
No, sir. LeBron James is not a civil rights leader. He is a corporate pawn for Nike establishment. Nike hosted and they endorsed the I Promise school. LeBron James, all he had to do was just sign his name and be the face of it. LeBron James is all talk when it comes to it. Nike orchestrates these marketing campaigns with Colin Kaepernick and LeBron James to get this done with. And listen, I'm not going to go too deep in this. LeBron has good intentions, but he's just ignorant. And for example, we had a Malcolm X book. They're kind of covering it a month or two ago, talking about his favorite, part of the book. He couldn't even answer it. Again, it's ignorance. He's got good intentions in his heart, but factually, he has no idea what's going on. These players in the NBA, whenever something goes on in the media with the fake news or just a little clip going off, they'll just run their mouth and yell out social injustice, etc., etc. They don't like to look at the facts. They don't like to determine all that. And social media in this presence of age of these young cats and everyone else, it's always about giving your hot take. No one can care less about the truth these days. People care about drama. They care about what it looks like, the perception. They don't care about intentions. They don't care about reality. They care about perception. And that's why people are being brainwashed not on TV, the media, social media, everything in general. Now, I'm not going to say some of these things didn't happen or not, but all I'm saying is LeBron James has been mostly all talk. You got to name for me anything that LeBron's done, like a Muhammad Ali type figure. Nothing.
And obviously leaving his family, playing in the bubble, still while leading, talking about Breonna Taylor, say all their names. And why I say most controversial is controversy, the definition means a rise in disagreement. You have a lot of people now that may have cared a little bit about LeBron James beforehand, but now you people that want to see him lose on and off the court. It doesn't matter what he does on the court, they want him to fail. And he is now in that territory as it respects to a leader. I think that really the weight he's had to carry this year, it's been different than I've seen any other athlete carry in their entire career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not easy to make an NBA Finals, and for him to be able to do it 10 times, he's moving up there in my rankings.
You getting close to the top five?
No. I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, if LeBron James, if he wins a title this year,
Okay.
I'll put him right behind Michael Jordan.
So he jumped from outside of your.
Wow. Paul Pierce moved him from, I think he had LeBron like number 6, number 5 all time. I forgot. He said it like 3-4 months ago, but he would leapfrog him over Magic, Kareem, Bill under Michael Jordan. Wow. Like I said in the beginning of this video, some people, they're going to move LeBron James to either the GOAT, second greatest of all time, or somewhere in that picture after he wins his championship. Because this championship does have a lot of storyline. It has a lot of meat when it comes down to it. With all the intentions of Kobe Bryant, people can say the pandemic, the bubble going on, et cetera, is what it is. I'm not going to get in my emotions. Objectively speaking, I have a number 5 all time. He will jump over Magic Johnson, which is hard to say, but he will. And he will be in the Mount Rushmore of the NBA. Now, we got to see if he wins finals MVP. Now, that's really going to determine rankings.
Top 5 to number 2 with the
absolutely.
win.
I mean, his third team, No, his third team, third championship.
You're getting there, Paul.
Listen though,
We're getting
but he
you there.
still has a
It
lot.
ain't personal.
He still got a lot of work to do to get past MJ.
What does he need to do to get by MJ?
If LeBron James wants to get passed by MJ, realistically, he needs to win a three-peat with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I've stated in a couple of my videos, or I think one of them, I think the NBA is going to put it in the works. This is going to be planned out for LeBron to win a three-peat with Anthony Davis. Now, he would have to win all three Finals MVPs. And the way AD's been playing, he relies on him, and LeBron will have 2 more years up in age. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, it is what it is. But LeBron would have to finish 6-6 in the finals, three-peat with the Lakers, and he could arguably be the greatest of all time. You can put in that argument. I won't mind it. But if LeBron James finishes with 4 or 5 championships all time, he'll most likely finish second greatest of all time.
I think he needs to win 3 more titles. I mean, this year included, to pass MJ. You know, but once he
he'll need to
gets,
get the
if he,
6th
once he
title.
wins this year, but then the thing is, like, a lot of you guys have him number 2, right? Right now, currently behind Mike. Let's say he doesn't win the finals this year, then what? Is he still there?
You know why Shannon Sharp and Nick Wright and some of these TV pundits are saying that LeBron James is the greatest of all time? Because if LeBron were to win a championship, like in 2020 here, then they can say undisputedly, yeah, he's the GOAT. He's ready to go, and he won another championship. Come on. But if LeBron were to lose his finals, it's not going to happen. But if he were to, I'm going to have to put him. Larry Bird is number 6 all time for me, and he's very close with LeBron. But with LeBron making another finals, I'll still keep him at number 5 most likely. But that's not going to happen. He's going to win it.
Well,
Yeah, he's still there.
Well, my Mount Rushmore, people got to remember that is actually etched in stone. And I think I have 3 players that are the high scores on the video game that just ain't coming down.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell. I just don't see.
Hey, respect. A lot of cats, they dismantle and they dismiss Bill Russell, disrespecting him. He had 11 championships in 12 seasons, and he didn't go against all plumbers. He went against one of the greatest players ever, and Wilt Chamberlain, and he beat him in the finals and the playoffs year after year. And he took down the Lakers and the Jerry West in them. Bill Russell had 5 regular season MVPs. They didn't track any finals MVPs, so, I mean, we can't really determine that exactly on numbers. But he was dominant, one of the greatest defensive players, big mans of all time. Put some respect on him. And when you're talking about GOATs, he in the 60s, he dominated that era, winning championships. With the 90s, Michael Jordan dominating that era. And, and then who else? And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he dominated the era with the 80s with Magic. That's why they're 3 and 4 for me. But LeBron James, if he were to win this championship, he would pass over Magic, and he would be close with Kareem for me.
Another player accomplishing what those guys were able to accomplish. Right now, I have Magic Johnson 4th.
Yeah.
If LeBron wins this year, like
You see what they did there? They put the I promise for LeBron James. Because that's the only video clip they can show of him actually doing anything, quote unquote, for the outside.
I allowed him on my personal list to pass Larry Bird as the best small forward when he won in Cleveland. I have to say this with a tear in my eye. LeBron James will pass Magic Johnson on my list if he wins this season.
Hey, Jalen Rose, respect to you on that. That's hard to say because Magic has 5 chips. Now, he did play with Kareem, and LeBron would have had 4 finals MVPs and 4 different chips with 3 different franchises, so you would have to leapfrog him, but kudos for you saying that.
For the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm no longer going to do a disservice anymore by debating about that. Like, everybody's great in their own way.
Yeah.
I know we're all competitive. I look at the LeBron James backpack and
Jay, that's a typical simp fanboy answer to please everyone. I want to hear that.
what he's been carrying. Wow.
Yeah.
What he's been carrying publicly.
I'll
Wow.
tell you this, though. He's definitely the one superstar who's had more pressure than any other superstar in NBA history. I mean, from the pressure from the expectations of him getting drafted out of high school, being named the king from just high school, living up to those expectations, carrying just, it's unprecedented, just having to.
Well, LeBron James did put the pressure on himself, having the chosen one, the king, and pretty much saying he wanted to be the greatest of all time. So he put the pressure on himself.
it carries such a load and such just
And P, look at some
on and off the court
look at some of the teams he got to the NBA Finals too. Like we have to put that in perspective sometimes. I feel like the first couple of years when he was in Cleveland, like it's hard, and I'm a basketball fan, it's hard for the average fan to recall some of the players that he got to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to LeBron in 2007. That was his 4th NBA season. He was 22 years of age, dragging that team to the finals. And then 2018, even though LeBron traded pretty much half his team with Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Dwayne Wade, etc., LeBron did drag that team to the finals. And the Cavaliers were not even favorites to come out of the East. It was the Philadelphia 76ers. Some were saying the Boston Celtics. And then I believe someone else said the Toronto Raptors. And then the Cavaliers were kind of in the mix. But LeBron dragged those teams to the finals. Impressive.
Yeah, we're going to look back at this career and just be like, I mean, it was monumental
Absolutely.
because the things he's been able to do is able to go back home and win a championship. I mean, he's gone to the finals 9 times out of 10 years. Just 4 players have ever done that. These things don't happen.
Yeah, I'm going to end it off here. And again, like I said before, with LeBron, it's going to be based on storyline, and people are going to talk about his championships at a higher value and more of a story drama-wise for him winning. And with Michael Jordan, I mean, some people are kind of make it a little more boring, stay to the facts. So a lot of people are emotional. They kind of gravitate towards that feminine nature of, the drama, about the emotional side of, the juicy details of how LeBron won it. So people are going to elevate him as the GOAT. I mean, I'm not going to knock them for it. They're going to be wrong, but I mean, that's just the day the day and age where we live in. But kick it off here. LeBron James, 10 finals. Let's see what happens when he cranks out that 4th MVP and 4th finals MVP, 4 chips.